What if the biggest secret on the ocean isn't what ships carry, but the ships themselves? What if vessels thousands of tons in weight are slipping off the map, not from storms, pirates, or mechanical failure, but because someone wants them invisible long enough to cover their tracks? Over the last year, more cargo ships have gone dark than ever. Not missing forever, not sunk, not hijacked, something stranger. They drop off radar, vanish from AIS logs and satellite tracking, then reappear hours or days later with rewritten routes and edited timestamps that should be impossible. Countries call it error. Companies call it normal. Crews stay silent. But the pattern grows thicker every week. Start with what these ships move. 90% of global trade depends on them. Energy, food, medicine, metals, machinery. If the ocean stops, the world stops. So if ships vanish long enough to alter records, who benefits? Who needs that window of secrecy? And what exactly happens during those missing hours? Independent marine hobbyists notice the first anomalies. Cargo positions flickering on and off like dying signals. One moment a ship sits 50 miles off Spain. The next it jumps 400 miles with impossible timing. Not random glitches, patterns. The same logistics chains, the same charter companies. But because it didn't fit a headline, no one looked deeper. Then coastal towns reported strange events. Engines rumbling too close to shore. Massive silhouettes moving at night with no running lights. Vibrations recorded in shallow waters where no ships were logged. Authorities dismissed everything. Yet the inconsistencies in tracking kept growing, and manifests returned cleaner than before. Most people assume maritime tracking is airtight, but it takes only one switch to make a vessel vanish. Disable a signal, jam a satellite feed, manipulate coordinates at the AIS level. The how is simple, the why is not. Some analysts believe the answer lies in cargo swaps. The theory is simple but chilling. A ship goes dark. During the blackout, containers are moved on or off, not through a port, not through customs, not through any process with accountability. When the vessel reappears, the manifest reflects only what the owners want recorded. It is the perfect method for transporting anything governments or corporations want to keep off the books. Look at the rise in missing chemical shipments. Look at the unexplained shortages of metals needed for electronics. Look at the sudden appearance of counterfeit pharmaceuticals in regions with strict regulations. All of these anomalies share one thing. They align with shipping routes that have experienced blackout events. But there is another theory, one darker, one rooted in the idea that something is being moved across the ocean that no one wants traced. Intelligence cargo, materials for private research, equipment for operations not tied to any nation. Entities that operate above governments would choose the sea because the sea is the last place where secrecy is still possible. Some former naval officers suggested something even stranger. They noted that certain blackouts occur near regions where underwater infrastructure has been expanding. New cables, new pipelines, new installations that governments refuse to discuss. A cargo ship could serve as a cover for deploying or retrieving something at sea without attracting attention. During the blackout, the vessel slows or stops. Work is done. Then the ship jumps to a new coordinate to hide the pause. Now think about this. Why are many of the vanished vessels owned by companies that do not disclose investors? Why do these dark episodes cluster around ships insured by only a few firms? Why do they often involve flags of convenience from countries that allow anonymous ownership? Someone is using the ocean as a private hallway, a space where surveillance is thin, where jurisdiction is blurred, where secrecy is still possible. And the blackout periods are the moments when the real work happens. There is also the human angle. Crew members have given brief, cryptic reports before disappearing from public view. One sailor claimed his ship was boarded at sea by a group with no uniforms and no flags. Another said containers were removed by cranes in the middle of the night, far from any port. Another described being told to stay below deck while the engine stopped in open water for 7 hours. These testimonies vanished quickly. Deleted posts, accounts gone, no interviews. The companies behind the ships always issue the same statement: technical malfunction, software glitch, navigation recalibration. But the glitches only seem to affect vessels carrying high-value or restricted cargo. No fishing boats, no ferries, no cruise liners, only the ships that matter to the fabric of global power. Then came the strangest case of all. A ship carrying nothing but empty containers vanished for 40 hours in a region with no storms and no piracy. When it reappeared, the hull sat lower in the water than before. Empty containers do not gain weight. Something was loaded, something heavy, something not declared. And within a week, that ship changed ownership to a shell company with no office. There are also whispers of a correlation between blackout vessels and nations undergoing political shifts. When unrest begins, these ships appear offshore. When new laws pass, they vanish. When elections approach, they cluster. It is like someone is moving pieces of a much larger game across the ocean, and the public sees only the shadows. The greatest clue sits in the insurance data. Payouts for mysterious at-sea anomalies have risen, yet the incidents never appear in news. Whatever is happening is expensive. Whatever is happening is repeated. Whatever is happening involves multiple countries looking the other way. You cannot hide this many ships by accident. You cannot alter this many logs without coordination. You cannot maintain secrecy across continents unless the power behind it is global. This vanishing cargo phenomenon is not random. It is a system, a network, a shadow supply chain hidden inside the legitimate one. And if the world ever learned what was being moved during these blackout windows, everything from trade to security to politics would collapse overnight. Because the truth is not that the ships disappear. The truth is that the story of what they carry disappears. And the world accepts the rewritten version because it has no way to see what happens in the missing hours. You be the judge. If you are awake, you already know what to do. Hit the link in our description and sign up to our free underground newsletter.